Hey, what's up, y'all? So, welcome back to the Process Method. I'm Tiffany, I'm your host. And I think today what we need to talk about is what January did. And I know for me, January, I know with the new year's coming about, a lot of people are talking about, like, oh, I'm going to do this new, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, which is fine. I mean, if that's for you, that's for you. But for me, I kind of started implementing things back in like late November, early December. And some things that stuck out to me for January did not necessarily happen like I thought it was going to happen. For example, I thought I was going to post way more. I thought that I was going to be more into the content era. And that is the complete opposite of what I did. So today I'm just going to talk about the three main things that I kind of went into for January and what I noticed and what I learned. Now, the first thing I learned is how my finances work for the new place. So I recently just moved here to the new apartment and I like it. I love it. It's cheaper than the last place that we was at because I'm really trying to focus on like getting my money right, doing what I need to do, because this whole living broke or living paycheck to paycheck or having a little bit left over is definitely not for me. So one, I had to move into a place that was more affordable and make it a home. So it didn't come with like the new granite countertops, and it didn't come with the big huge windows, and it come with what I'm used to. And that's fine, that's okay. Like, but I have to live within my means. And what it taught me for January was that I really was living outside of my means sometimes, or I just wasn't caring about my finances enough. So for December and for January, I found myself in a situation where I had to come up with some money, but the people was willing to work with me. So that was the good part about it. And basically they were telling me like, hey, if you don't come up with this money, we can't, we will no longer do business with you and you just be on your own. So I'm like, okay. So basically I had to crouch down. Like, normally when I look at my finances, I'm looking at it from a standpoint like, okay, I get paid on this day and my check is going to be 1,800, right? So since my check going to be 1,800, I could just go ahead and pay the bill that's 1,500. I could go ahead and just pay that and I had like $300 left over, right? For me, that's not how the situation worked. So that was my theory of how I was going to handle the situation. But then when it came down to actually executing, it didn't go quite like that. Because I still had to buy food for the house. I still had to do stuff for the car. I still had to get back and forth to work. I still had bills and stuff that I have to pay in between that. Now, I know a lot of times I grew up with, you got to rob Peter to pay Paul. But that, to me, that keeps you kind of like in the same cycle or whatever, right? So I didn't want to do that no more. So as I'm going through it and I'm realizing like, oh, well, I can technically pay my whole bills or rent or car note or whatever with one paycheck. But if I do that, that's going to take me out from somewhere else, basically. So what I decided to do was I went on and paid my bills. And for 2 months I did this. I went on and paid my bills. So like my light bills and like all smaller bills. And then I would just put money for my rent aside or for my car note aside or just something like that. So did that for 2 months. And then what I realized is I was actually able to save a lot more money. Now, it wasn't as simple as put it aside, pay this, and then save for this. It was a lot of, maybe I don't need to eat out. Maybe I need to cook what I have in the house. And I know that sounds so cliche and sounds so simple, but that's really what my reality was. Like, I couldn't go and get me a pop every week, even though pop was $2. I know it sounds small, but it was more of a discipline thing I was teaching myself. Like, okay, it costs the same amount for me to eat at home than it does of me going out. So whether I buy food for me to eat at home or buy food for me to eat out, it's pretty much the same. But when I was going through this for 2 months, actually it wasn't. Just something simple as like, All right, say I want to buy me, I'm trying to eat chicken because I'm trying to eat better. I want to lose some weight and stuff, right? So I would buy like this pack of chicken from a certain store, and I found 3 ways to make meals from that chicken. Now, when I went to the store, I spent $75 for the week for me and my 2 kids to eat, right? But with that $75, I found like a whole bunch of meals. Granted, I had to do some work. I had to look on TikTok. I had to use ChatGPT to help me like finance, like budget out a little bit. And then I actually had to go to the store. Actually had to go to the store, not deliver, not any of that. And when I went to the store and I'm looking at prices and I'm comparing prices, it actually showed me like a little bit more. Now, mind you, I had to watch a lot of videos. Like, if I'm being honest with y'all, I probably watched videos in the morning when I got up, while I was at work, while I'm on the train, all that, like going back and forth to work. Like, I really had to be serious about my money, because if I didn't pay these people this money, they wasn't gonna do business with me at all. And the place that I'm in right now, I need to establish good relationships with people when it comes down to a business part or a financial aspect, right? But even if you got to do this for your rent, or if you have to do this for your car note, or just whatever big bills you owe, like, you have to try to stick to your word as much as you can. And that's what I feel like January showed me. January and December really kind of put me in that place of like, we're going to have to figure it out, baby, because we can't afford this. Like, in all honesty, we cannot afford this. I cannot lose this money from these people, or I can't fall behind on my rent, or I just can't be in this bond like that. Because when you mess up 1 month, and I know we talked about this before, when you mess up 1 month of behind on a major bill, it takes you about 2 and 3 months to actually really catch up. And I don't want to wait to taxes, because I really don't get taxes like that no more. But I don't want to wait to taxes. I don't want to wait to a school check. I don't want to wait for, these different situations where I'm getting these lump sums of money to like kind of really catch up. Like, because nobody wants to live like that. And mind you, I'm 37 years old. This is something that I need to fix way before I even touch my 40s, to be honest with you. I'm just a regular girl trying to figure it out. But I just know I got to figure it out before I touch 40. So that was a big thing. So I really learned about my finance. And too, what I learned about myself, I was able to save up $4,500 in 2 months. 2 months, just off 2 paychecks. 2 paychecks, and then like I had like some clients in between. But with my bills paid, $4,500. Imagine what that did for my whole, putting away for my savings, or just putting away for other major stuff. Because right now, like, too, my car down. My car is down. And since my car is down, which don't bother me because, I'm a city girl. I have no problem getting on the train and a bus, and then if I need to get somewhere extra, I just get on the Uber. So that was another thing too, like putting that money aside, because I technically need a new car. I don't want to get a new car, but I need a new car. So January definitely taught me that, because it just kept coming. And like anything else too, like for anybody who like kind of in limbo with those finances, when you start going, like when you behind on one thing, 2, 3, and 4 is not far behind. So something else is going to get in the way, and it's going to try to come in. And then I owe these people this money. Then my car breaks down. And then like, all right, now I got a grocery shop. That's 3 major things. You see what I'm saying? Like, my rent gonna get taken care of. It has to get taken care of, because this is what me and my children lay our head at. But my car can wait. These loans can wait. Like, other stuff can wait. But in reality, they can't wait, because I made an obligation. That's another part of my whole January really taught me. It was just more like, you have responsibilities. When you tell somebody you're going to do something, you got to stick to it. And it's not just for the sense of credit, or not for the sense of trusting and building trust with other people, but what it does for myself. Because when I was able to pay this money back, and have my bills paid and have my rent paid, and I got to way back and forth to work, it kind of it took off a level of anxiety. It took off a level, like, gave me a sense of freedom of like, okay, I can fucking breathe. Like, I'm not looking at everything like so negative or everything to fall. Now, mind you, everybody can't save up $4,500. If you can't, then you can't. Then you got to do what you got to do. Your bills may not be as high as mine, you know? Maybe you trying to catch up on rent, or your rent is $600 and you trying to catch up on it. And right now your checks is only $600 every 2 weeks or something like that. Like, you got to communicate with your people at your office. And I'm not saying this just like, oh, whoop-de-doo, like anybody, like this is, just regular information, but this is real life experience for myself. I done been behind on rent before. I done been messed up and not paying like I'm supposed to do on housing and not on housing. Like, these are real life experience. Sometimes people think because you're on housing, oh, your rent is only such and such, you shouldn't be struggling. Bullshit. That's the whole point. I'm struggling. That's why I'm on housing. But anyway, like, you have to find what works for you. And financially, that is something that I was determined to do. And with me being in school, one of the prereqs was for me to take economics, a certain level of math, like different things like that, just because it was just a regular course. So go to your local colleges, or even in your neighborhood, your community. They have financial literacy. They have programs that help you with your money. And if I'm being frank with you, my job offer information about helping employees with their finances and just different ways that you can kind of get on your feet and stuff like that. And I had to go and attend it. And I did feel a little embarrassed, but at the same time, I'd rather feel embarrassed than to be homeless or to be without my money or working from paycheck to paycheck. Like, I'd rather have that moment of feeling like something that's uncomfortable than to actually be living uncomfortable. And January really, really helped me down and helped me see about myself. I felt like January was really, really like a learning curve of really learning about myself and learning who I am. And I don't know, maybe you should take the time. What I suggest for you is, if you tired of living paycheck to paycheck, or you tired of like your finances being in the flux, I say find you at least one or two people that you find on TikTok. I love TikTok. TikTok taught me a lot, or YouTube, of course. And find small increment of ways that you can like save in your situation, and be honest with yourself too. Remember, we never gonna see half of these people that we see online in person. And even if we do, like, we here to fix us and really get ourselves together and really trying to do something to make our life better, especially for 2026. 2026 for me is really a year of me just micro focusing on me. So like, I challenge you to do that. Go on TikTok, YouTube, watch these little quick videos of people who making $20 meals last a week, or $75 meals last a week, and understand this shit come with progress too. Today you making $50 stretch a whole week. 2 months from now you can make $150 stretch 2 weeks. A couple of months from now, the end of the year, you can make $300 stretch a week. Like, it's levels to this, and you got to understand that it's okay. Like, it's okay to struggle for a while because you have a mission on doing better. Like, never be embarrassed by trying to grow. Only people who are embarrassed about trying to grow are people who are not really trying to grow. And I stand behind that, because at some point in time, you feeling bad anyway. Would you rather feel bad and get nothing from it, or feel bad and actually get something from it? So again, go on TikTok, YouTube, find you like 2 people you can follow, or 2 people you could get some ideas from, and I don't know, figure out a way that you could implement it into your life. I'm not the blueprint, I'm just the example. You the blueprint of your life. Me and my kids can go without certain things. Like, All our food don't have to be name brand. None of us have like gluten allergies and certain things like that. So we could go to Walmart and get certain type of foods and we straight. And sometimes we go to Whole Foods and get certain type of foods and we're straight. Like it's nothing, there's no one way to do this. There's so many different ways. And I challenge you to do that for yourself. Write down some ways, some ideas, and just try to implement one. Now, I've been trying to do certain things like this, but for the last 2 months and really in January, it just stuck out more where I actually had to put these things into action. Like all the stuff I've been learning, all the stuff I've been putting in, I had to really put it in action. I wasn't always on time with my rent. I wasn't always on time with my car note. Hell, I wasn't always on time with my loans and stuff like that. And then when that pressure got on me, like, hey, if you don't pay this money back, we never doing business with you again because we can't do it like this. That's when it clicked in my head, like, all right, it's time for me to stop playing. Let me really get on this. Let me really try. Like, I got the answers. Let me really try to do it. In January, said, baby, this is the month you're going to do it. This is the month you're going to do it. So, yeah. January definitely helped me see my money a little bit better, a whole lot better, and realize the help I had too. So, I suggest you do the same.
So, if you like the video, go ahead and subscribe and make sure you stay in tune for part 2 and part 3 of what January taught me. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. And see you guys next video. All right. Bye.